How we doing, guys? So Jay here from Just Technics. It's the weekend, so if you're watching this, it's a Sunday. I thought I'd come down to the unit quickly and do a bit of work on my bike because I've got a Yamaha R7. We'd adjust the chain and just give it a general clean up like you do on your days off. And I thought, after I'd done that, let's do a quick video because a few things are bothering me and it's not getting any better. So I don't quite understand the situation with this, but there seems to be a lot of comments flying around on social media, YouTube, all different video formats regarding my videos on, well, against the GR, the Technics GR, against the Mark 7, my belt drive deck against the GR, and just general negativity regardless, right? So look, everyone's got entitled to their right and their own opinion, like I put in the previous video, but I don't quite understand why people are having problems, right? So let me just explain this to a few people. If you're new to this and don't understand. So a long time ago, I did a video of a cheap £90 turntable from Lidl, the magical middle aisle of Lidl. It was 90 quid, it was belt drive. I bought it at Christmas a couple of years back. Gave it away as a prize for one of my Christmas competitions. And before I did that, I did a video during the summer, sorry, not the summer, during the end of the year with that turntable and a Technics GR, which actually belongs to one of my customers, Andy. Massive thanks to Andy if you're watching. And I thought I'd do a comparison. So pretty much it was a back-to-back video of me with the two decks, the GR on, if you're looking at the video, it was this side, the belt drive on this side, and I was mixing on them backwards. So I was standing behind the decks to show you what they're like, okay? I thought I'd do it this way. You can still see me, and you can obviously see the decks functioning as well. Now, if you know how to spin records, it doesn't make a difference whether you're standing in front of them or standing behind them, standing to the side of them. Same principle if you're having turntables in battle style mode. If you use it in one way, use it in another, right? We've got people that use turntables with the pitch control in front of them. I get sent out all the time and it does my head in, but everybody is different. Everyone has their own different style, every different method of mixing and what they want to do. But I thought for the purpose of that video, we'll have it some standing behind and I use them backwards. I picked two records that I had in my unit. I had a massive stack of vinyl in here. I still have got a huge stack of vinyl in here with the same two records that I used on them. I think one of them was Nucleus, I believe, or ID&T. Another one was a white label, a recent track that I bought. I actually got it up there as one of my promo tracks. I used this to test out the audio systems on turntables playing vinyl because I love the track. Can't remember who does it though, but I've got it, right? It's still sitting there now. Anyway, that video was just to show people the comparison between a cheap turntable and at the time a £1,300–1,400 turntable from Technics. So there's loads of comments darting around saying that I made it deliberately harder to mix using the GR than the belt drive. Why the hell would I want to do that? So for a start, people have been commenting saying that apparently I touch the record in certain places so things don't line up, or I pitch bend, or I'm touching the platter and I'm manipulating the record in such a way that it speeds up more or slows down more than it should, so it deliberately doesn't match that of the belt drive. Absolute rubbish. This is what I mean about keyboard warriors and people that just think they know better. This is going to stop the argument right now. If you are one of these people that has put that comment on that video or commented on you on Facebook, so I've blocked so many people, Facebook, YouTube, it's insane, right? If you're one of these people that has put these negative comments and thinks that I'm genuinely lying and thinks that I'm not telling the truth with this, you are more than welcome. If you own a single GR, okay, if you own a GR, bring it down to me in Colchester in Essex. I will do exactly the same video again. If somebody's got a little belt drive deck and they've or dual turntable or a cheap belt drive turntable and someone also owns a GR deck, feel free to bring them both down here. I will set up my workbench again exactly the same as it was in the video, which was the other side of my unit. Still got it all. I'll set it all up and I will show you all again in another video as to why it's better. And even failing that, what I'm also buying next is a RP 4000 Mark II reloop turntable. So that's the next review that's going to be coming up shortly when I decide to get it through the door when it's been delivered. So I may very well do it against the RP4000 Mark II to show you a comparison again as to which one I feel would be better. And I still have an inkling to think that the Relip would be a better turntable, purely for the fact it's going to be easy to use, right? Now, if you're not bothered about it, like I've just said, if you own a GR, bring it down. Bring it down. I will compare it against any turntable that you have. If you've all got turntables and you're adamant that the GRs are fantastic and there's no issues, bring it down. I'll do exactly the same video again, and I will show you my reasons as to why I don't like it, okay? Now, this is another thing that people need to understand. Mark 7 videos, my original ones from 2 years ago, you can still keep a lot of the information of that as truth as to what I stated before about my reasons as to why I didn't like the turntables, okay? Things have changed somewhat since they released the Mark 7 1200 edition and the Red Bull. So the Mark 7 1200 and the Red Bull edition, and obviously the new limiteds that are going to be coming out, will be exactly the same internals as these turntables, with the adjustments made to the pitch controls, which mean there are no more dead spots between 7 and 8 on either end, as I was the person that found the issues originally, the first person to find the issues and do a video on this. There's no arguing this. I don't need to argue that. So that's the situation with those turntables. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have been saying why, Jason doesn't touch the Mark 7s or doesn't want to recommend the Mark 7s or the GRs because it means he doesn't get any business with the older turntables. And obviously I repair, customise and service Mark 2s up to Mark 5, down Mark 6, etc. Not true really, is it? Because I own a pair of Mark 7s. And people ask me all the time about them. And the reason I bought a pair of Mark 7s is quite obvious. It's just so I could test them out myself. I was expecting to put them back in the box again after everyone telling me that the issues have been resolved. But they're genuinely a nice turntable for home use. I really do like them. And they're sitting at home with a Rain 70 mixer in the middle, cracking mixer, wicked little setup, and I'm more than happy for home use. So they're staying there permanently, and it's more of a case now, if anyone's got any questions about these Mark 7s, I can do miniature videos on them. And like I explained before loosely over Facebook, I don't think I put a video about this, but copyright issues are stopping me from putting my mix up. I did a physical hour or so's mix, trance mix, including video, top-down video, that I was going to upload onto YouTube. But copyright strikes now, they're getting insane. So they let me put up the Pioneer video with the Rev 7, but they're not letting me put it up for the Mark 7 video because it's picked up on all the tracks. So you can get away with one, but not the other. So the audio's been uploaded to Mixcloud. So if you're on Mixcloud, you can try and find me on it. Just type Just Technics, it will come straight up. My logo will be on there. You can find me straight away. But the mix is on there, obviously without any video. So you can listen to the mix. A lot of people already have. But yeah, there's people on there saying I don't work on the new turntables. I won't recommend the new turntables. I mean, where are you guys coming to this assumption? Unless you're watching videos from 2-3 years ago, things change, guys. My opinions change a lot on equipment when modifications are made. If people are allowed to do updates on technology. And I've said this so many times before. We are so lucky that Panasonic Technics, are still producing turntables for people like ourselves that are DJs that appreciate playing vinyl and only likes playing on vinyl, or maybe do it as a bit of a hobby thing and just have a bit of fun and then use CDJs mainly. We should be grateful that they're doing this, okay? Because they could be like anybody else now that really thinks to themselves, CDs are the way, CDJs are the way forward, USB sticks, controllers, phase. No one's going to bother about turntables anymore and just jog them on and be like everybody else, just go straight knocking on Hampin's door, get another Super OEM deck, which means Reloop, Stanton, Audio Technica, all the bigger brands that all use exactly the same internals or practically the same internals, just look different and pay premium for different amounts of money. So they're not like that. They've made it from the ground up. They're doing their own technology and it's good. It is good now. The platter problems that were there before with the wobbly platter with the washing machine effect, remember I said about the left and right and up and down movement? It's not as bad now. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a washing machine anymore. There is literally tiniest little movement up and down. But the quality of the internals now, the actual quality of the unit itself, I should say, because I haven't taken them apart, sorry, I mean the actual externals of the unit, doesn't really look any different, but the paint quality is better on the 1200. The way the pitch control feels and functions feels a lot better and actually does react much better as well. And I've adapted quite easily to that turntable. So for those of you that are on the fence about it, it's quite simple. buy them. If you're looking to buy something and you've been using a cheap pair of belt drive turntables or cheap direct drive turntables, and you want to go for a pair of Technics, but you don't want to buy second hand, you don't want to spend $1,000 on a pair of second hand decks and have all the worry of finding a pair that hasn't been Franken-decked like the ones in my other videos. We'll get to that in a minute as well. You want to buy something that just works. Unless you're going to find someone that's been using them for home use only, has never gigged them, only never left his bedroom, or a couple of hi-fi boys that only use them for hi-fi use that are individual on top of stack systems in hi-fi cabinets. You're really going to find it hard. You've got to take everything on face value. You need to put trust in the seller that's selling them to you. So a lot of people now, it's as bad as buying bikes. I know this from obviously what I do as well. So when I'm buying bikes, my hobby is obviously riding bikes. I love sports bikes, everybody knows. So that and DJing, terrible combo, because both of these cost an absolute fortune. Buying records is expensive, and buying bike parts is even more expensive. So these are my two passions combined together, as well as what I do for a living. And look, you get ripped off left, right and centre. It's like going out to go and look at a bike, but go in front of about a bike and say, I want to buy it, what's your best price, is everything okay on it? They're all going to tell you it's fine. Half the time everyone lies to you. Pay for delivery, get it here, find a million faults with them. It's the same principle as buying turntables. So you need to be very, very, very careful. And if you don't want that aggro, the obvious thing is this: buy the Mark 7s. Buy the Mark 7s, that's it. Now, going on to the GRs, again, I seem to have, there's a lot of butthurt GR owners out there that don't understand why there is, okay? The biggest thing is this: if you are using GRs for DJ use, I don't care. I do not care, okay? If you're happy with them, brilliant, okay? If you're happy with the quality, brilliant. If you like the way that they function, excellent. What's your problem? Like I say, if everyone's got their own right to their own opinion, okay? I have my opinion on GRs, you have your opinion on GRs. If you say something's better than what I say, I'm not going to agree with you, because it's an opinion. Plus the fact that I do what I do for a living, I've used practically every turntable you can think of on the market. This is not a recent thing. We're going back 15 years worth of turntables, okay? This channel might be new, but my experience in the industry is not. I've used about every turntable you can think of, from old Omnitronics decks to Citronic decks, everything all the way up, Technics, Vestack, everything, okay? I know what I'm talking about. I've taken a lot of these turntables apart, done repair on a lot of these older turntables. Okay, the GR is a good quality unit. It's weighty. It's about the same weight as the original Mark IIs, Mark Vs, etc. It's a weighty unit. It feels great. The pitch is beautifully smooth and firm. The arm assembly, everything is top dog. I love it. I love the GR in terms of the quality. The disappointing part on that turntable is the pitch and the way when you manipulate or touch the platter. It's built more for people that pitch bend. Do not touch that platter. Otherwise, you're going to run into a world of pain. I say this all the time. Now, no matter what people think or disagree, I have customers too, guys, right? I have customers that have GRs and they agree with me. They agree with everything I say, and they've seen comments and they argue against people. They message me, they call me up and say, Jay, just ignore that joker. This guy has no idea. I've removed 5 people from my business page, right, that think they know better than someone that actually does this for a living. You've got other people out there, other competitors that agree as well. They won't watch videos and apparently think that I'm just selling clickbait or some rubbish. But the truth is this, they agree, okay? They agree about the GR. And the proof is in the pudding. Panasonic have said since day dot, that deck is a hi-fi deck. It's for audiophile use, for hi-fi enthusiasts, people that just listen to records. The pitch control's there to change the speed. It's not there to manipulate records backwards and forwards and moving things in time and keeping things tight. It's there to just move it to +1, move it to +2, wherever you want, and it keeps its constant speed. And it's a great deck for that. It's not made for mixing. That's it. That is the end of the matter. Pop up on the deck is beautiful. Everything moves exactly as it is. Nice and smooth. Everything's great quality, but it's not designed for DJ use. And for those of us that all turn around and say, that's all well and good, Jay, but you said about that before, but the Mark IIs were never designed for it. You're absolutely right. They were never designed for DJ use, but DJs soon cotton on to the fact that that pitch slider unit was beautiful for long transitions and tight beat mixing. Look anywhere online, okay? They soon changed their tune. Panasonic soon changed their tune about the Mark II and DJs discovered them, okay? They started to change their tune a little bit. You'll find posters online, lots of vintage posters, where 1 minute it's a ultimate hi-fi deck, next thing you know, it's the DJ's choice of turntable, which it was, and it still is for a lot of people, right? So you can't argue against that. But they never did that with the GR. That's my argument with this. They never did that with the GR. There was one flyer that was floating around online. And a lot of people's arguments were saying that I think they said something like the 1200 series was the ultimate choice for the GR, and it's been untouched, and minimal effort was made to make this unit. And people have just taken it for read that the GR is also a DJ turntable. That's called clever advertising, guys. That's not false advertising or anything. That's just them stating that their older models, the legacy models of these turntables, were fantastic for DJ use. It was a nice discovery for DJs. It's an accident. It's a discovery. They found it, saw it's fantastic, best pitch out of everything you're ever going to use, responds beautifully, and that's what happened. You've not got people that are going out and buying GRs and going, oh my God, they lock straight away, perfect. No, because they're not made for that. They're not made for DJs. They are hi-fi decks. And I can't believe the amount of backlash and flack that I have been getting online over a stupid turntable. It's a turntable. Have you seen? For the guys that have been moaning about it, have you seriously got nothing better to do with your time than moan and spread rubbish about my videos, when all I'm trying to do is give informative videos and opinions on these turntables, which make perfect sense. They genuinely do. Look, if something's not made for DJ use, it's not a DJ turntable. The Mark II, when they first did it, wasn't made for DJ use. They never even thought about applying it for DJs. All of a sudden, pow, DJs love it, they've changed it. Because they obviously proof's in the pudding, that deck's fantastic for mixing. And it still is. End of story. The GR, no. You can pull a mix off on a GR, yes. You can do that, but it's much harder work. I've owned a pair of GRs myself. Now this all being said, obviously with the Mark VII, they changed the issues and rectified the problems quite coincidentally. One minute there's loads of problems. You know all about the past of my videos when I went backwards and forwards with Panasonic. Basically admitted liability, then turned around and said there's nothing wrong with them, that's how they're designed, no warranty uplifts, blah, blah, blah. Didn't do anything to help me on 2 occasions and a lot of other customers as well. And all of a sudden, out of stock everywhere, and then pow, new stocks come in, dead spots gone. Right, so they've fixed the issue and we're none the wiser and we're left with decks that have dead spots. Not good enough really. But what I'm getting at now is the GRs, obviously they had dead spots too. I don't know whether if there's a revised version of a GR, or if they revised it and didn't tell anybody, and these versions don't have the dead spot. How do we not know that these turntables, these GR decks, now the newer versions of them, don't have that dead spot? If they don't have the dead spot, you may very well be in the same situation as what I was and how I am with the Mark VIIs. For all we know, you need to understand that because I've not used newer ones, I don't know when you've bought them. If you're one of these guys that's arguing about how fantastic the GR is and I'm talking out of my backside, you need to appreciate that maybe you've just bought that GR. Maybe you've just bought it. Maybe you bought it just after the Mark VIIs were released, 1200 Mark VIIs were released. And because you did that and had the revised pitch issue all repaired on that, maybe they've done the same with the GR. Maybe if that's the case, they react differently. You need to understand that I've only used the first edition, we'll call it, of the GR. My friend Andy, my customer Andy, he's a good friend and customer, he bought that deck when it first came out, 1210 GR. Very first one that came out, he bought it. He collects turntables. I've done about 3 pairs, I think it is, of turntables for him now. Individual ones as well. And he can't stand it. And he's like me, he's been DJing a very long time. This is like way over 20 years, DJing a long time. Can't lock beats on it. And it just sits in its box. It sat here for nearly a year after that video I did with the comparison. So yeah, you need to be more understanding, guys, as to why my opinions are like this. I've not used the new revised version or even know if there is a revised version. Panasonic won't tell me anything. They don't tell anybody anything about anything. They're very, very hush-hush. I don't like to admit when they've done something wrong. And that's a massive flaw. You know, if you're open and honest about something, people will respect you more. Okay, if I have an issue about something or something happens that I've completed that's not quite right, I'll be the first person to say, yep, sorry about that. But look, you've got your right to your opinions, but you need to be more understanding about my opinions. And if you don't like it, don't just start spreading rubbish online about me. If you do that and you don't care about that person's responsibility behind it, then you're a keyboard warrior, otherwise known as a Karen or a Ken, and I want nothing to do with you. There's because comments been going on about the Franken deck. There was one that was put on there 10 hours ago, I think it was, that I noticed before I left for my unit. Again, people not watching videos properly. Not understanding what I meant about fake Mark V. Yes, you're absolutely right. There is no such thing as a fake, a real fake that's been made in a factory that's called Technics, that's got a Mark II and Mark V M3D badge on that. There are no such thing as a fake Mark V. It's like going out and buying fake Dre Beats headphones. You get the box that looks different, the stickers that look different, the quality of the colours will be different, the sound might be different. But to the untrained eye, you're not going to know, are you? That is a fake. These turntables, guys, just to explain this one more time with this, the fake Mark V video, the reason I put fake in capitals, why do you think I put fake? And why do you think I put it in capitals? When you type in Technics and you see fake Mark V's, Jesus, everyone's going to go to it, aren't they? It worked and it did its job. It did its job. And technically, look at it in two ways with this. Yes, you can't buy fake Mark V's new, okay? You can't. Don't exist. Don't exist. They just don't exist. Even the imports don't exist. They're all genuine, right? But if you're buying, let's put it another way, if you're buying, say you're buying a vintage car, right? Buying a vintage Ferrari, okay? You're buying a vintage Ferrari Enzo. You're buying an Enzo, right? You're buying an Enzo, it's a garage find. It's been sitting in someone's garage for 15, 20 years, right? It's covered in dust. No paperwork for it, no logbook if you're in the UK, no logbooks, no paperwork, no previous history. You got nothing, just the car, right? You don't really know what you're looking at, but you know it looks like an Enzo, and you look over and go, yeah, it's an Enzo, it's a Ferrari Enzo, great, fantastic. Give the guy the cash, get it loaded up on your trailer, you take it home, give it to a garage to overlook at it, and they call you up and say, that's not an Enzo, it's an older, it's a Testarossa. It's the Ferrari Testarossa with an Enzo body kit on. Who knows if you can even do it? We're just throwing it out there, right? It's a Testarossa with a Ferrari Enzo body kit on it, right? It's a Ferrari Testarossa made to look like an Enzo. So, is that a replica or is it a fake? It's not a replica, is it? It's a fake. It's been sold to you. It's been labelled as an Enzo. The person that sold it to you says it's an Enzo. It's a Ferrari Enzo. There's no paperwork or anything to prove anything, so the person that sold it has got no liability for anything whatsoever, doesn't give a crap about anything. But as far as you're concerned, that person sold you an Enzo in good faith, you looked over it, Enzo badges, Enzo bodywork, started it up, blah, 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 blah. That's where they get you. Now put this in the same situation as if you were buying a set of Technics. That fake Mark V video, it's pretty simple. The customer, again, bought them as they were meant to be genuine Mark V's. End of. That's it. The plimps were resprayed. The base, one of the bases was from a Mark V. One of the bases was from an M3D. The internals of both turntables were not from Mark V's. The only thing that was from the Mark V, ironically, was one of the pop-up lamps, because the assembly on one of them had the newer style with the LED built in with the separate PCB, whereas the old one had an old Mark II unit inside it. That was the only thing that was genuine about that. So he sold them to this guy, the customer bought them in good faith and was told they were genuine Mark V units. Now, what people don't realise is, and I've explained this so many times before, the seller that sold those turntables to my customer, Dave, he's well known throughout the industry for selling turntables that are not what they are meant to be. He puts guaranteed security stickers on the back of them and ironically strategically places them over the model numbers so you can't see. And my argument was, if you are buying a set of 1210s and you have never bought a pair of them before in your life, it's your first set of Technics, whether you're 20, whether you're a 16-year-old, whether you're fucking 50, who knows, right? But the point is, if you've never ever bought a pair before, What are you going to be looking for apart from walking into someone's bedroom and going, oh my God, a set of Mark 5s, oh my God, a set of Mark 2s. You're going to be excited, you're going to look at them, colour looks all right, graphics look fine, blah, 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 blah. As far as you're concerned, set of 1210s, bow, here's my money, take them home. Then all the fun begins. So for people that argue, like the guy in the video that I saw last night, the ones that argue saying everyone puts stickers on them, everyone does this, everyone changes internals, there's nothing wrong with that. There's loads wrong with that. If someone sells you something that's been refurbished, fine, because it's been refurbished. They could have done anything to it. So those Mark 5s had the boards replaced on them, didn't they? The boards were changed over. The power supply wasn't even right on one of them. It's an older power supply and an older board from an old Mark 2. So they can do whatever they want. As far as they're concerned, refurbish, do what you want, there you go, thanks very much. Still not quite right in some respects, but you're not told what they've done. But they're refurbished, you can get away with that. If you're selling something that's genuine and untouched, that is exactly what you should have got, genuine and untouched. The boxes weren't real either. Everything about it was wrong. And if you're buying something that's sold to you as genuine, I don't care what anybody says on comments about everyone does it, people change stickers, I've seen hundreds of them, they do this all the time. Doesn't make it right. In your comment, if you're one of these guys that puts this, you are completely wrong, okay? Faking the respective if you're buying Mark 5s or buying Mark 2s. If you're going to buy a pair of Mark 5s, and they are not Mark 5s, and the internals are from a Mark 2, they've been resprayed with the wrong graphics to make them look like Mark 5s, and they've had all the stickers covered over the back. It's not genuine, they're not real, so they've got to be fake. They're not replicas, okay? You're not buying it as a replica. It's like you do over here in the UK when you're buying Toyota MR2s and you're putting Ferrari body kits on them. That's a replica, Ferrari replica over a Toyota. You're not buying something that the guy's gone to you, oh yeah, so these are the Technics that are for sale. They're Mark 5 replicas, they're Mark 2s that have got Mark 5 plimps and they've been resprayed, everything's been done, new graphics, this, that, to make them look like that. Even the tone arms weren't from Mark 5s. The actual anti-skate assemblies were too low. They weren't in the correct number sections or anything. Everything on them was wrong, everything. And anyone that argues about that video, I don't care about your opinion because you are 100% wrong. People that argue and say it's correct what the guy has done and sold to this customer are wrong. It's dishonest, it is fake. They might not be fake turntables that have been bought from new, but someone has sold them not in good faith. Someone has sold them to this customer, profited massively out of it, to a guy that had no idea what he was looking at, openly said that he didn't, and the guy still sold him and ripped him off and walked away with the cash in his hand. That's not business, that's just nasty. And unfortunately, that's what we've got to look out for. So again, the Mark 5 video, everyone's right to talk their own opinion. But if you're going to be some stupid, absolute stupid comments, I used to just delete them. I might actually start commenting back on them now. It's starting to become a bit of a joke. Now, I've got better things to be doing with my time than doing things like this. I don't mind doing videos. I love doing videos. But if people are going to say, don't let it get to you. It doesn't get to me. It pisses me off when people think that they can just spout any old rubbish. I ain't putting up with that. And if you're constantly going to be spamming the page with rubbish, I'm just going to get rid of you off the page. It's as simple as that. My channel is for good people, people that actually appreciate what I do and people that are interested in the turntables in general. I'm asked daily about people, why don't you do DIY videos? Why don't you show us how you vinyl wrap? Why don't you show us how to do LED kits? Why don't you show us how to do the pitch control properly and all of this stuff? I'm not a DIY channel. Okay, it's not a do-it-yourself channel. This is if you can't do it yourself and you have never done soldering before, I don't want you getting 3/4 of the way doing something that I've shown you on a video, mess it up and call me and say, Jay, I've got this far, what do I do next? If you don't know what you're doing, you shouldn't be touching it. And this is where you need to give it to someone that's got more experience with electronics than you have. And that's not being dishonest, or disrespectful, sorry. That's being truthful. You know, if you don't know what you're doing and you haven't got the good quality equipment, don't touch it. Leave it as it is. Let somebody else do it that's more qualified. You know, that actually has more of an understanding of how the equipment works. You don't want to start taking things apart and breaking them. They're worth a lot of money and you can cause yourself a lot of pain, and your wallet's going to be a lot lighter as well. A lot of people get ripped off. The one I did in my last video where one of my customers gave a turntable to that one. She's that one there. Turntable right there. Gave that to a repair company in Essex. He asked for his lamp to be replaced. Simple 20-minute job, not even that. 20 minutes to do that. wanted an LED instead of a lamp. Got it, 12 weeks they had it for. Got it back, both internal fuses blown, all the power components blown. He didn't put an inline resistor in line with the power of the actual LED, and he blew everything up. Insane. Common, easily done if you don't know what you're doing. And that happened quite a lot with people that do a lot of tutorial videos. I get it all the time. People call me up, I put this kit in there, I put the LED on, put the wires on, connected it all up, soldered it all in, insulation tape round it, connected it all through. Lamp powered on for 2 seconds, heard this almighty bang, and nothing's now working. And then when you change the fuses over, the platter's going to be wobbly, right? Well, that's why you don't follow these tutorials, and that's why you give them to people that know what they're doing, because you can cause yourself problems. If you are experienced with soldering equipment, then great, you do whatever you want. Do whatever you want, but you're going to cause yourself problems if you don't know what you're doing, and I am never going to be doing that. If you're watching this channel thinking that I'm going to start giving away my secrets and what the work involves and the things that are involved, I'm not doing that, okay? I'm going to state that right now. There's no DIY tutorials on here. The only tutorial videos you are going to see on my page are the fake ones. The same as the pitch control, where I cut through the middle with the giant hacksaw, you know, and then spray the entire insides with penetrant oil, WD-40 penetrant oil, and then cover it in brown tape. It's just funny, right? I even had people comment on that thought that that video was real. Insane. You just can't please anybody. I've learned you can't please everybody, and this is just the way the world works now. So if people can moan about something, they will moan about it, no matter how small or how big it is. They are going to moan, and that's just the way everything is now. So yeah, moving forward with this, there are no DIY videos, only jokey DIY videos. We'd all appreciate that by now. People with GRs, please understand, I've got no issues with what you use. I don't like put a cross through them and start throwing holy water at GRs. I do like them, I just don't like mixing on them. The newer versions may very well be alright, but my offer stands to stop this dead. If anybody out there has got a GR and you want me to do a comparison again against another turntable, send it to me. Send me the turntable. You know it's in good hands. This is all I do for a living. Send me the turntable and I will do the video. That's it. Simple as that. I've got no intentions of doing it off my own back. I spent a fortune on those turntables last time. If you want to do it, be my guest. But yeah, moving on. So the Reloop RP 4000 Mark II. As I explained a few times before in some previous videos, a lot of people have been commenting, asking me to offer some reviews and my own opinion on those decks. Now, I've only ever used the 7000s, the 8000s back in the day, and the older series of Reloop turntables. Even the RP 2000, I think was the other one I did. So, yes, the RP 4000 Mark II is a turntable, ironically, that I've not actually tried on the Reloop range. I may very well have tried equivalents like that without knowing it, but I'm not going to find out until I get one here. But I am going to put an order through with Reloop for an RP 4000 Mark II. So for those of you that are interested in finding out what they're like and fancy just a cheap turntable, you might even want a pair of them cheap for home. You know, not everyone wants to pay a fortune. And if you're only going to spin vinyl for a bit of fun at home, why spend all that money on decks? You can spend it on other things, can't you? So it's like me having a set of decks there that I never use and spending parts on motorbikes. That's what I do. So everyone's in the same boat like that. No matter what you enjoy, you're going to spend money on what you enjoy. If you really want to spend a couple of £100 on a deck, this might be the option. And we'll find out when it turns up, won't we? So I'm going to get one and we'll do a review on that as well. There'll be a mix review, do an overview review on that. I'll put the findings up on Mixcloud and I'll try and do something online if I can get away with it on a video like this. We'll just move forward from there. The phase video as well, there's been a lot of people asking me what happened to phase, because obviously phase sent me down a set of them last year. Now the box for phase, ironically, I've got it here. I finally pulled my finger out. I bought it here now. So I've already recorded a physical mix using phase, but the problem that we've got now is that has audio and video, which is fantastic. And it's top-down view of one of my old Mark Vs when I had them. The problem that we've got is copyright again. So what I'm going to have to do is do a separate unboxing video for this. This is going to be recorded individually, and it will be literally just showing you what's in the box and give you an idea. What's in the box? Right, so literally just what's in the box and give you an overview as to how you set this up and how easy it is. I think this is phenomenal. For those of you that haven't used Phase yet, you need to get on this. And if you use a Serato DJ enabled mixer that can do HID, this thing is as simple as connecting it up with a USB, one USB cable going to your laptop or your PC, whatever you're doing, and no audio cables. Absolutely insane, super easy to do, and I recommend this to just about anybody that wants to use Phase. It's excellent. It is superb. So yeah, watch out for that video. That is going to be up. I'm going to try and get it out this week coming. That's pretty much that, guys. I don't think there's really much more I have to address really on this video. So we've gone through the Mark 7 side of things. Nothing really to say about them. They are what they are. They're a good quality but expensive DJ turntable for home use. People are going to have their own opinions about that compared to Reloop and Denon and everything else. Denon's one of my favourites. It always will be. The VL12 is a lovely turntable to use for mixing. I don't care what anybody says for that. That's one of my favourites. The Technics is Technics at the end of the day. I'm always going to go for Technics. And the Mark 7, the newer Mark 7s, now they've revised the pitch issues. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of it. And all I will say is check out the mix on my Mixcloud accounts. Just type in just Technics. I'll put the link on the video anyway, and have a listen to it. But there's quite a few people who have so far, and they commented about the tightness of the pitch, which is what I wanted. So I found a pair of turntables that do the job that we all actually want. If you're going to spend that amount of money, they are perfect for it. But yeah, the GR side of it, guys, go gentle on me, all right? I mean, I give my opinion on the older series. If you're using the newer series of GRs and you bought them recently and you're not having problems, then maybe they're different to the older versions, okay? But don't just start randomly spamming my Facebook page with videos about, look how tight these are. You don't know what you're talking about. Do you seriously think I'm going to keep that video on? Do you seriously think I'm going to allow that on my business page? Don't waste your time. If you want a constructive argument about it, then contact me and we'll do that if I've got time to do that. But like I said, if you want to send your turntable to me, I'll quite happily compare it. And if it is better than the version that I've had by Andy when he dropped his one down, if there is a blatant difference between them, I'll be the first one to say, guys, this turntable is insanely good. It's weighty. It's got everything we want on it. It feels like an old 1200 Mark II. It feels the same. Adapt to the pitch, you'll be great. And that's exactly what I'll say. That's it. I'm not out there to try and slate things when they're no good. If they're genuinely good, that's not me. And I certainly am not going to start messing around doing comparison videos and start touching records and platters and pitch to deliberately slow or speed down tracks and manipulate things to make things not right. Come off of it, guys. Seriously, I am not that sort of person. If you want my honest opinion, I'll give it. If you're not bothered about it, then leave the page. It is as simple as that. You haven't got to watch my videos. But like I said before, you can't please everybody. And we'll leave it at that, guys. So I'm going to go and enjoy now the rest of my weekend, get on my bike and go and see my mum for a little while, I think. And yeah, I'll catch up with everybody at some point, I would have thought next week. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. And I'm sorry if it dragged on a little while. It is nearly 40 minutes long, bloody hell. But yeah, thank you for watching. And I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, guys.